My daughter loves her toy ponies. She loves them. In fact, she got in trouble a couple years ago, and I gave her a choice. Would you rather be spanked by me or have your toy ponies put in a box for a couple days? And she chose the spanking. So I did what I thought a good parenting move would do is I went down and I actually put the horses in a box for a couple days. And again, an attempt to get her to understand the weight of her sin and the consequences of them. But the point is, my daughter would rather get a spanking than lose her toy ponies for a while. Well, I was reading the Gospel of Luke, chapter 13, and it says this: At the very hour, some Pharisees came and said to him, Jesus, get away from here, for Herod wants to kill you. And he, Jesus, said to them, Go and tell that fox, Behold, I cast out demons and perform cures today and tomorrow, and on the third day I finish my course. And so Jesus knowingly is heading towards his death, yet he's unafraid of Herod. And now the line that caught my attention. Nevertheless, Jesus says, I must go on my way today and tomorrow and on the day following, for it cannot be that a prophet should perish away from Jerusalem. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. You see, Jesus knows that he is heading to his death in Jerusalem, the place that has killed many of the prophets of God. Jerusalem, the capital city for God's people. Jerusalem, the home of God's one and only temple of worship until we become the living temples of God through the Spirit in Pentecost. God just didn't send one of his loved people to call Israel back. He sent multiple prophets to Israel, and he kept sending his prophets to Israel, even though they would die. And Jesus is aware that he is simply the next and final and greatest of the prophets that are going to be sent to Jerusalem to die. Jesus being the Messiah, God in the flesh. I say that because it makes me think of my daughter and those toy ponies. Right? What if my daughter let her friend borrow one of her toy ponies that she loves so much, and that friend destroyed the pony? My daughter would be heartbroken. Remember, she'd rather be spanked than lose one of her ponies. And I might be able to convince her to forgive this friend and show this friend grace enough for her to lend the friend a second pony. But if that friend destroys pony number 2 or pony number 3 or pony number 4, it won't take long at all before my daughter would refuse to lose any more ponies to the friend who clearly is being malicious and careless and mean, destroying what she loves. And yet, God does this very same thing for Israel. He loses pony after pony, prophet after prophet, in an attempt to reach his people. And what depths of love and grace that is. But God's love and grace goes deeper still. Look at how Luke finishes the section, verse 34. It says, O Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stone those who are sent to it. How often I would have gathered you together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. Behold, your house is forsaken, and I tell you, you will not see me until you say, Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Again, Jesus knowingly is heading to his death. Jesus is knowingly going to sacrifice himself as part of a long line of prophets who went to Jerusalem to die. And what's on Jesus' mind here? Is it his upcoming loss of life through torture? No, what's on Jesus' mind is not the cost he will be paying, but the cost that Israel is paying by not paying attention to God, by trusting God and allowing God through Jesus to be their God. Jesus is grieving not his own life here, but Israel's unwillingness to be protected and sheltered and nurtured by their own God. Jesus is grieving what Israel's missing, not what he is sacrificing. And to me, that just says what depths of love and grace of God. And so I want to ask you, how has God repeatedly sacrificed himself for you? Right? We who walk with Christ are much more like Israel than we'd often admit, repeatedly rejecting our Savior's attempt to protect and shelter and nurture us, finding ourselves slipping back to independence and self-reliance as if that was some type of real thing anyways. And let's go further and turn what we receive by God outwards towards our neighbor. Right? Are you willing, by the power of God's Spirit, to offer the God-type love of grace and repeated sacrifice to those around you? It's what God shows you. Will you show it to somebody else? The very same thing that Jesus is demonstrating here in the passage we read today. Right? Is your spouse, your kids, your family, your church getting this type of forgiveness and sacrificial love from you? Are you willing to die to yourself, give yourself over time and time again to love those around you, no matter the cost to yourself? Or are you desperately trying to protect your ponies? This video has been a ministry of Hopewell United Brethren Church in Auburn, Indiana. If you're in the area looking for a church home, we'd love to get to know you. Our website link is in the description.